more hex for 15 years and staking it. And like, so like we have all this stored economic energy from people who might have sold hex at like 14 cents or whatever. And it's like, I see Icosa being the springboard for hex in this next bull run. Uh, because like we're at lower prices now. Instead, if somebody puts $1,000 into Icosa at ceiling price at 4 cents, well, if they do the same thing at even lower prices in hex and stuff, all of a sudden there's like an insane more amount of shares into the HSI buyback. So I think that there's a good chance that the transfer of economic energy, the next spot is looking like it might be Icosa. I don't know if it goes down another 60% from here. A 95% dip from launch would be 10 cents for Icosa. But I don't know if we go down that low. But I think that economic energy is getting stored, and it's going to hit the Icosa price at some point, which will then wrap so much hex up for 15 years. And yeah, that helps the hex price, but it also helps this entire ecosystem as well.
What's up, Mike?
I would agree with you on that. Another thing that I don't know if everybody has realized this, but when somebody makes a hex stake, right? In if you look at it in perspective, the Hedron that you receive is a proxy to the hex stake for you to use now. The hex stake is T shares locked away for delayed gratification for the future. So one's for the future, one's for now. In the now, what are you planning to do? You're planning to leverage yourself, you're planning to expand your network, you're planning to buy something, you're planning to go save a life, help a friend, or acquire new assets. As a brother just said a while ago, the Icosa is very important because most of the Hedron that's in existence is locked up in Icosa stakes right now, which is very, very true. And to have that sort of leverage right now is very important. But more importantly, because all of that hedron is locked up, what is that hedron a proxy to? To a hex stake. So a lot of people are locking up their ICOs now to look forward to the future as to how to reposition themselves, right? So if on the hex side, you've locked up everything over there, you're over here in ICOSA, you've created double the opportunity for yourself. And you see, that's a key thing for me in looking back when you step back again from third person and look at this. That's the power position to be in two places that are favorable for your future. That's key.
You say two, and we got three, so we're good.
Yeah, we got three. We do have three.
Looking good.
We're looking damn good.
Yeah, I was kind of less tempted to DCA into Hex right now since yield is so juicy and Icosa have been DCAing much more to Icosa, buying the dip than the Hex dip. Like when I see the yield, the daily yield, comparing the two, yeah.
Yeah, that's what's so
right
crazy
now.
about hex yield, because hex yield, like when they say that it truly protects you from yourself, it's like, yeah, that stuff's compounding for 15 years, and then like getting bonuses on it, and like your Icosa yield's really cool and better right now, but like it can't compete with someone who has 15-year diamond hands. That's the difference.
I wouldn't be able to hold any kind of asset for, let's say, for example, 6 months until I got involved with Richard Harden Hex. It's taught me that, and now I can use that this ability with Hedron, Icosa, you name it. So that is pretty awesome.
Yeah, this is epic, guys.
Is there anybody on chat now that's been around since the Bitcoin days and stuff like that? Anybody?
Not really actively. I've been observing the space since 2011, but I wasn't like invested in it. I've used it for some shady marijuana purchases, but yeah, never been like a trader
Record
or
it.
a
Take them
holder.
down. Take them down, boys.
We got him.
FBI, open up!
It's funny. You could have just came to Jamaica for that, man. You'd be good.
Yeah, man, that's a long way from France.
But the reason why I ask is because if anybody was here from Bitcoin days, man, you had no choice but to hold, right? You didn't see a lot of Bitcoin selling until alts or other coins came along. Like most Bitcoin holders weren't selling their Bitcoin for shit, right? The strongest thing for most Bitcoin holders from 2010, 11, 12 coming down, even if you held on to your Bitcoin, it went up to $1,000, it went back down to less than $100. Nobody was selling their Bitcoin. And anybody that was passing what Bitcoin was giving it away for free because they had so much. But I can tell you, man, you had nothing to do but hold. And if you weren't holding, you're passing it to family members or beneficiaries. And if you were not passing it to beneficiaries or just holding it, you're allowing yourself to keep adding to the volume that you had because you kept mining it. And if you weren't mining and you're buying, you were still buying it because it was cheap enough to do that. So Bitcoin may have never paid yield, but holding on for dear life came about because of that, right? So I tell people that when you're in the crypto space, man, just look at your life further down the road. You're spending time, set it up in a way where you're not just thinking about the short term. Because in the short term, it's going to be painful. Price is up, price is down, market's flat. But just let's focus on the volume, not the price.
This guy's like a Jamaican executioner. I love it.
That's my big brother.
Yes.
That's my big brother, man. Where is he to? I've been so much. It's been so long.
No, you know Kareem the Dream's uncle, bro.
Yeah, where's he at? He hasn't been. He's been kind of gone, right? Like, where's he at?
I think those guys just they're not famous people like originally, and I remember being in the Hex chat with them like 2 years ago. It's kind of funny being in this chat because it's like almost like this, like kind of like the same thing. It's like an underground chat, but like those guys pop up for like a little while, they get a little famous, and they have no idea how fame actually works. Like I was actually on a couple TV shows, like probably like 7 or 8 years ago, and like my Instagram followers ended up popping up to like 50,000 people. All of a sudden, I didn't really want to be famous anymore, and I think that's what happened to like a lot of these Hex streamers and stuff. Like as soon as any started like papers started coming their way, that they just started deleting their accounts and stuff. Like it's just like fame, and then like YouTube people coming after you and then like challenging you on your thoughts every day. Like I think those guys probably just disappear at some point.
Your social battery runs out too, right?
What?
So sometimes your social battery will run out too.
Yeah, exactly.
You have to
Yeah.
remember, like, there are some of us in this space, man. Like, for example, if you were in the Pulse Chain main chat room before it was like 1,000 people, and you watch that group 1,000, 5,000, 10,000, 15, 20, 25, 35, 45. I remember when it got to 45,000, I was already maxed out. I talked almost every day, and I wasn't even an admin, right? We were on the chats, but it got me through a lot because rather than focusing on the depression, I was able to just, I grew into this community. But then I came over there and I met those people, Executioner and everybody else. And those guys contribute a lot too to different spaces, to different chat rooms. When you're just watching Richard from 2017, 18 on YouTube, you didn't know all these people. But when you got to Telegram and, they're inside these groups and you join these groups and you're like, whoa, okay. And you start meeting the different characters. There have been a lot of great people who've taken the time to be a part of the 1-2% that even understand anything at all about any crypto asset, much as to talk about it openly, and be willing to have their views aired publicly. And it's like you're throwing paint against a canvas, and the audience gets to judge if it makes sense or not. And thankfully, their wisdom has helped most of us in many ways if we truly had listened. And I give credit to those guys. And for somebody to even make the reference that I say I sound like a Jamaican executioner, that's I respect that. I respect that a lot because he's taught me a lot too.
Oh yeah, dude. Like Kareem, like not being here doesn't really like affect me that much because all the stuff
Who's
that he
Kareem?
said 2 years. Kareem the Dream, he was like an original like Hex like YouTuber, Hex like Hex streamer, Hex chatter in the old Hex chat.
Don't let me interrupt you with my sarcasm. Continue, guys. Sorry.
Oh, my bad. And yeah, he just like he was the guy who like got it really FOMO-y for everyone to get like 15-year stakes before people even wanted to do a 15-year stake. And like like I remember a ton of the stuff Kareem's saying, even though he's not like really much around anymore. And that's like the thing about Lord Hedron's here right now. He's like talking. Maybe people thinks he sounds like Kareem or Hexecutioner, and maybe 2 years from now he gets a little bit, who knows what's gonna happen, but like I'll remember a lot of the stuff you're saying today, and that's the cool stuff about these voice chats.
Appreciate that too, man. Um, the other thing that's cool about spaces like these is that when wisdom that gets shared becomes collective wisdom, right? And we can use it, for individual benefits. It's great because, as I said earlier, when I came into the space, before before I came into the Pulse Chain chat room, the only two cryptos I've ever interacted with in any way was Bitcoin and Monero. They were the only two that made sense to me. I've met people who, had Ethereum spoken about. I just never paid it any attention for a very long time, none whatsoever. And that was even after losing Bitcoin. Just never paid anything else other than Bitcoin attention for a while. I came into the space, and I before I came over here to make the decision to, I want to learn. I've been listening to Richard, and Richard made a decision to say, okay, I'm gonna get off Bitcoin and go over to ease. I said, okay, good for you, man. A Bitcoin. It was in here long enough to call him OG. 2011, yeah. All right, so Bitcoin OG. He made the choice to go over. So, and after all, it took me some time to learn it too. It took me some time to learn that you can change your perspective and try something different. It doesn't have to be Bitcoin. It doesn't have to be the same thing. And I joined the space, started listening to these people, and I make notes a lot. I'll make mental notes. I'll write stuff down, and I'm quantifying, does this have intrinsic value to where I want to go with my portfolio, right? So those are some of the things. For you guys, is the same thing. Just try to pick up on what's not just data but information that will be beneficial, and use that to your strength. Damn, I put everybody to sleep again. I'm so sorry.
Yeah, I agree, man. Each one teach one. There's definitely a lot to learn from a lot of people in the community, and I always appreciate the
You never put me to sleep, Gafar.
Oh well, nice. Come on, nephew, let's go. Yeah, let's go.
I get so excited around this time. I get to look at all my steaks and go, yeah, payout.
What is this payout time? I honestly don't know.
Half hour.
Half an hour to
Wow.
go.
Yeah,
Dude, I
35
never
minutes.
check, boys.
It's good. It's good. It's
Oh,
better
man.
if you're not addicted to it.
I sent my friend when he first bought Hex like a couple years ago. He kept like I told him I put him on Hex and he like kept like whenever I'd see him he kept telling me about the price. I was like, bro, please stop telling me the price, dog.
Get that.
Another 3 watts is burned since last night, I say. That's nice.
Instead of steak and chill, it should be steak and shut up.
Exactly.
That's just solely right there. I can tell you that. What's up, man?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah, man. Steak and shut up.
You're
Ja,
learning.
you know one of the things that turned out to be true? Never mint early. It turned out to be one of the most profitable things for Hedronians. Never mint early. You know why? Because a shitload
Opportunity.
opportunity is, but a shitload of guys would have sold their Hedron when the price went up for the first time and acted stupid. When I go look at the bot and see how many 10x Hedron stakes are being minted right now when the price is low enough, and they're making a decision, they're getting their Hedron, going over to make Icosa stakes, they're buying Hex with it, or they're making Hedron stakes. I am a proud ambassador of this chat room to say thank God. For those who have it, they weren't stupid. Happy
Are
for
you
that.
guys all 10xers in here?
Maybe a few of us.
Maybe a few. I'm always late to the game, so I'm not.
Yeah, I blame my 9xer on my I'm a 9xer because I was a little bit, just a little bit hesitant in the beginning, but I mean 9 was all I could go. I didn't want it to drop to 8.
So you want to hear my story? How I ended up at being a full time 9xer and not a 10.
Oh yeah.
So that entire time from December last year, I was in the Hedron group, became an admin and helping people, teaching. They were Executioner, Alex, Jack, all the guys, right? But I got a big contingent of Hedronians here in Jamaica. So in that classroom that I told you guys about, I was teaching every day. And when it was time for launch, I was so caught up in my friend's death and everything that was going on, and also the fact that the guys here every day would be on the chats. I was teaching every day, sometimes 2 or 3 times. I forgot to take care of my own goddamn business, and it was on the last day when I'm like, "Holy shit! I've not actually made any HSI stakes for myself." I was trying to rush the process, and it would just not go through. So like I was 2 minutes over the UTC time to end up in the 9x, and that's how I got there. I have no 10x bonuses, none, not one on anything. That's how I got there, man.
Yeah, I'm like even stupider. Like I have like stakes on Staker app, actually real stakes on the app, and I didn't like get into the gnosis, and I didn't even claim some stuff. I'm telling you, it was just pathetic. The process, you know. So yeah, that's unfortunate, but the amazing thing is that like the continuation of the protocol, it's like there's still opportunity. There really, it's really that amazing.
Yes. Owen, I thought you were a bad guy at first.
And who are you talking to?
I thought you were a Robert. Okay.
He's getting mugged in a nice
Where?
way.
Where at?
I think the birds are near the tree, and then the birds die. I think one of my friends said the birds died from climate change.
That's not how it died.
No,
Well, I said it's getting colder.
It dies when it's time to die.
I think it died from when it just died.
Yeah, I think you're right.
I'm gonna go put my stuff away and leave the bird's nest.
What, you want to go walk and see it?
Yeah, bro.
That's so cool. Like I've been spending so much time on Twitter, I kind of want to throw like love emojis and like high fives and thumbs ups and stuff.
Ever been an Icosa space on Twitter? I don't remember seeing it.
No, just the Hexacode live spaces. The famous's room. I spend most of
Yeah,
my time there, for better or for worse.
for better for worse. I
Yeah,
get it.
yeah, it's really a little stressful sometimes. Like the stream of consciousness is not so. Yeah, it's quite a stream of consciousness, and it's not moderated, but it's creating a sense of community, which is really so valuable. So, for better or for worse, yeah, I put my time in. Yeah, even just to expose yourself to Twitter publicly can be, uh, a commitment and a vulnerability. So, it, 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 it- it's not like an agenda. It's more like an effort to keep like a space open always, like 24/7, literally 24/7, without an agenda, except for just Richard Hart ecosystem and like all of it and more and life too. It's a place where people just come to chill a little bit. um there's a lot of personal talk there too.
Famous
Yeah, for
space a
sure.
few times. It's pretty good. Been pretty good.
Yeah, I encourage everyone to at least stop by and say hello, and maybe even bring like more of a concentrated, like intelligent, flow, because it really is stream of consciousness and everyone really is always welcome. uh I don't know, every ecosystem. So I mean ecosystem, like in terms of like just the social media, like the between Twitter, between Telegram, between a Discord, between all the different places where people can access one another. It's just I think all of them are so important, in the end. Even YouTube. It's just the way people can access information, relate to people even if they're not directly speaking. um and just again, just like the fact that this room is open right now is like a blessing. So it's like great to make contact and see who shows up, and you know who has something to say, who comes to listen. Like like it doesn't matter. That's like the accessibility is so important.
Oh wow, I'm guilty of talking again with the mic off. Sorry about that. Yeah, I would say that was. I agree with your statement there. Um, you know, one of the things that I like about famous space on Twitter is even though the stream of consciousness can be far and wide, because of some of the people who come in, the fact that you can have so many various types of mindsets surrounding why people find something valuable to them is very positive. Sometimes it's a headache because our minds are not attuned sometimes to all of those frequencies, and most time it becomes noise if you can't, you know,
Yeah,
figure it
like
out.
it
But
becomes like media. Yeah, it can be
yeah,
annoying, but like,
it
but in the
can be.
end, but all together, it's like it's important to keep it together and not like
That's
kick people away and judge and get it all involved in the details. It's like
that's right. That's right.
because we're all on the same planet, man. Like we're all in the same crypto space.
What I've not figured out with humankind is yet is there are 8 billion of us, and it's very difficult for most people to just understand that somebody else's frequency is different from yours, and keep it moving. Sometimes I see spaces go all the way too far, getting too personal. People get annoyed at different people. Oh yeah, that guy is this, and I'm like, I hardly ever get annoyed at somebody like that. I'll correct somebody. I'll take corrections too, but shouldn't reach a point where people hate each other so much. Sometimes I see it go. Sometimes it goes too far in some of the spaces. Not on Famous's space, but just at some others.
Oh, it
It's been
happens there too.
it happens there too.
Oh, definitely. It's like it's literally wide open, and Famous really doesn't like moderate it too much. It's kind of interesting, and the community keeps it going. So it's like when I said stream of consciousness, I literally I mean that. Um, and it's sort of like multi-moderated. It's not like directly moderated or curated at all.
At all. Yeah.
And we always allow other people from like wherever they come from, trolls. Like we test trolls, and you know,
Yeah.
people from other communities that come to like uh, they come to disrupt, and like we let them stay, and then they end up
Mm.
staying longer because they enjoy it. and then
Yeah,
and,
it makes
and
sense.
then and then people from their
This,
communities come over and listen, and it's like that's the real like this is a marathon.
yeah.
You're not going to win in a conversation or convince in a conversation or even express who you are
Yeah.
or what at all ever. It's like it's really I don't know. It's really a question of
It's
time
really a
horizon.
marathon. That's
Like
true
time
because
horizon.
I've been there a few times. It's a marathon.
Yeah, it's a time. It's about like what's your time horizon?
Because one of the things I learned about Famous is Space from the first time I went there, if you go there with an ego trying to prove your little war, your little battle, your threshold for your threshold is gonna run out real quickly. Because as you rightfully say, it's not micromanaged. And the one thing I think Famous has tapped into as a hexagon is that we know that other people are gonna have to come on over here to make sense of what's over here. We know. And he facilitates that quite well. And I've never seen him gone into the situation where he's competing with somebody for competing sake that Hex is a better product. And no, he let you talk, and that's okay. I like that. I think he's found a niche for himself over there, to be honest.
Yeah, I think so. If you can understand half of what he's saying, because his brain moves so quickly, But he's really doing and bringing a lot of people together in a really positive way,
Yeah.
whether you like it or not. Like personal style, like just how he runs his room. It's like you don't have to like the way he says stuff and what he says even. But it's no, it's a good addition to um the influencer circuit. And he's not even trying to be an influencer because he's never like asked for anything. Uh, like everyone has a course now, it seems. Even our favorite people have new courses. You're like, what? You have a course? What the hell is going on?
Yeah.
But I don't know. But that's the thing. It's like, do you make people pay for education because they want to be there? Or is it a for profit experience? Is it like, you know, basically it's, another member of this community that wants to teach without asking for anything really at all and not making I don't know it's more like teaching with participation. It's like he enjoys teaching because it's like about it's a part of it because as we've seen in the past weeks with all of this regulatory bullshit and Mario space and all this crap, it's like people really don't understand what we're doing here. They just don't have no idea, and we don't want the wrong people like to be the ones to define the space. I mean, the market always defines the space for us. Like, it's not the voice, but like, there, people do listen to the voices. So,
By the way, since I'm the best teacher, even beyond Hexecutioner, please join my paid group. Send me money, please.
can I give you my seed phrases?
No,
You know what? I usually say no to people, but for you, go ahead. You can trust me.
You can trust me.
What
I
could
didn't even know that was really a thing until I really, between last year and now finding out that there are people who literally would send their seed phrases because they thought they were having difficulties getting into a wallet or MetaMask wasn't working and they panicked. And I'm like, why would you do that? Like I had one guy literally, I'm not kidding, we were on the post chain voice chat one night talking, and before I changed the name to Lord Hedron, my real name is Gafar, right? So he messaged me, he's like, Gafar, hey, what's up? And I'm talking to the guy and everything. We talked a few times. And he's like, are you having problems with MetaMask? I'm like, yeah, it's giving some problems. I think Infura, the company that owns MetaMask, maybe having some problems with their relays or whatever it may be. Next thing I know, I saw a screenshot with private keys. So I immediately blocked him. I went back to the post chain group, message in the group and asked him to join the chat. And he joined the chat. I'm like, dude, why would you do that? It's like, no, I thought I could trust you. I'm like, no, that's not how it works. No, no. Your private keys, your seed phrases, not my business. And he's like, yeah. And I was wondering why you blocked me. I'm like, for that very reason. For that very reason, we're here talking every day for months, and you come over here doing that same stupid shit. Like, no, what kind of friend are you? I'm like, dude, your friend should be able to tell you when you're stupid. I'm telling you that you've been stupid. Can't be out here sending around your private keys. For what reason? Because it's hard to get into MetaMask. I said, go to Etherscan, put your public key into Etherscan, look at your assets. Are they still attached to your wallet address? And I walked him through that on the call. And he's like, yeah, they're still there. I just can't see it in MetaMask. I'm like, dude, MetaMask is a viewing instance. It is not where your cryptos are stored. It just allows you to view what's on the blockchain. And 90% of the time, it's not even perfectly right. Go to Etherscan, check it. Is it there? He said yes. Everything that you had there is there. He said yes. So leave it alone. Put your public keys into any other viewing instance. It could be Trust Wallet, it could be anywhere. You will find the details. Think about it. You know, and he found it. But there are people out here that will do that. And there are people out here that will post their public keys, private keys, and the seed phrases on Twitter. That one blows my motherfucking mind. Swear to God, that one's crazy.
I have a little weird prediction. I think that the next set of auctions are going to be way more interesting than the last.
More. Why do you think so?
Just think so. I'm crazy. I do a lot of drugs, but that's just what I think. It's going to be fun.
Okay, I see where you're going with this. Okay. It's the drugs for me, but okay.
I love drugs.
Mike, man, you ever come
Nice.
over to Twitter Spaces?
Um, I think like Twitter is just a bunch of fucking Democrats with like pink hair, like
No.
jerking
Like
off
our
each other.
space,
Like,
like no,
oh, your space.
our
Oh, okay.
like our Hick space over there. You ever come hang out and say hello, or
No,
you
I've
or
jumped in to listen to Richard, but never jumped in there.
well, come say hi, man.
Sure. What do you like? I usually just see like a notification. What do I have to look up a group?
I look up like Hexaco Live Spaces is like the main handle, and that's basically the host of the space. And yeah, it's basically open 24/7. So no, man, I'm just saying, come say hi.
Definitely will. Definitely will.
We could use the
Oh,
insights.
I mean, if you like listening to somebody who does a lot of drugs and dropped out of college, well, man, I'm the person to fucking talk to.
Well, you'd be more than welcome. We have all walks. We have all
Oh,
walks of
there's
life.
38 people in that space. Wow, that's a dude. I'm telling you, the hack space is so like for as small like as we are. Like, dude, that's like actually gnarly. You see 38 people there and 21 here. Like, that's a lot. Like
It's
just for a random
yeah.
space, randomly during the day.
No, it's consistent, and like we don't get big numbers because we don't try and attract them. Honestly, it's like we don't do marketing. It's not a thing. It's just like it's just like people from all parts of the community, really. And I don't know, like you say, like I'm not into Twitter, the fucking Democrat and bullshit media crap. Elon's not going to help, like whatever. I mean, we all like gravitate to where I don't know, like where we feel like we're making a difference, where we feel like we're heard, where we feel we're getting like decent information. Like, but for better or for worse, like the spaces, like most of them are crap, but like we're holding this down, this like this Hexaco like Richard Hart ecosystem. It's not only Hex. It's not like you can't talk about this. Like we have Safe Moon guys in there, like trying to shill, and like we let them stay because we're convinced we're gonna bring them into the ecosystem one way or the other, or at least convince them that like we're the smartest like community in crypto, and like it's like where else would you want to be? So it's kind of interesting, man. I just come say hi. I think it would be cool.
I will stop by.
And everyone in the room, come say hi. It's always open. Whether you like Twitter or not, you don't have to, it's not a whole thing. Just, check it out. A lot of good people over there. And I'd love to like mix up the people in the community that don't cross streams. Like a lot of people don't come over to Telegram ever. And they're asking information. I'm like, guys, don't you ever just go to Telegram and like ask the question that you've been asking for, 18,000 weeks? Like just go hang out in the community that there's a lack of like uh crossing of the streams sometimes. So yeah, just come say hi. It's cool.
Mm. It just shows like the strength of this community. Like I don't know, man. When you're putting your money in crypto, especially like if it's like how much do people like their coin that they're holding? Like are they like holding it like just to you know just for that next 2x, or are they like dude, this is my hex, man. Like this is my fucking hex, dude. My shares, my Hedron 10 exposes, like I can't touch that. Like what are you talking about?
Yeah, like what's your time horizon? It's like a time horizon. Like what's like you can like something, but like what like what do you yeah. There's all different ways to look at this and a lot of different ways people really even like rationalize it. So yeah, Gafar's come and said hello. It's cool.
Yeah,
Famous fell in love with Gafar.
the Twitter Spaces app on the browser, when you're using it on a computer, it's not so cool to use because
No, it's
you
not. In
cannot
fact,
interact, you cannot like
no.
do whatever emotes or put the hand up or even connect to the live feed. So
Yeah, it's not built for the. It's really built for the mobile application. So, like to date, at least. Yeah.
yeah, they should be working out that feature on the browser.
Yeah. Agreed. Agreed. Um. Yeah, it's interesting. I don't know. We have these like three and more, but like three main places to like receive, or four, like including YouTube, like the Discord, the Telegram, and the Twitter. Right. Those are like the three places, and YouTube with the streams. And like whatever like competing ones. Hey, I like Getter, I like this, but like ultimately, like that never really takes off. And it's like it's amazing. Oh, I'm not even going to mention Reddit. Like I'm not even a social media person. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, but like just in terms of people getting together and how they access one another, it's like I wish there was a little bit more cross compatibility. And then again, we're always like, I don't know, fall victim to like the people marketing stuff, whether in or out of the community. But I don't know. I wish there was a little bit more like cross compatibility with like the people that are really always around. Like there are really dedicated people in Telegram chats and really dedicated people in certain Twitter spaces. Not the Twitter gossip. I know Twitter sucks, but just like I'm just talking about the spaces because you can define your community there, which is very powerful, like, part of it. So anyway, and then there's Discord. I don't know. That's weird. Mostly like, yeah, DJ and NFT stuff you kind of associate with it, but even Hex has a has a Discord. Like no one is ever there, but it still is in existence. You
But
know,
who runs it?
I never found out or even wanted to know because no one was ever there. And I
Isn't
was
there like an admin list?
there. Yeah, there must be. If I was good, I'd know and have known or
I
looked.
have never checked out the Hex Discord. I don't even know the address, but um yeah,
Or
I
even the Hex
mean,
Telegram is horrible. Like, you go into the chat and you're like, hi, and like no one says anything, and there's like three people there. It's like amazing. I'm like, what? Like, how is this possible? It's like, where is everyone? Like,
and
obviously
this
that's
is
the
the
place.
original Telegram?
Well, maybe one of them. I don't know. I'm not an OG, so I don't know what groups broke up or what groups existed.
Mm.
But there's the official Hex Telegram, and like no one is ever in the voice chat.
Oh yeah.
And all through like the sacrifices, like no one was ever in the Hex chat. It was all in Pulse, but you could only discuss like only Pulse, maybe Hex. So I don't know, man. It's just
I was in there about like what 6 months ago. um Pretty recent, pretty regularly, but then
yeah,
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 kind of
yeah.
preferred using my time watching videos and doing some other research.
Well, it just goes to show like what's your time horizon for information and like just the knowledge, like orientation. Like what is the time horizon? Like if it's long, like what, like the weather doesn't matter in a way. Like financially or socially.
So, what's your guys' prediction on SBF? Is he gonna get it all, or is he gonna walk out?
Well, if the plan works, he'll get it all, and everyone else will not be even on the radar. What a media circus. Amazing how many people have asked me about crypto from like like normies. They're like, hey, is everything all right? Like even people who are in the middle, I was trying to onboard, or like so turned off by what's happening. And
Yeah, they hear the headlines.
yeah,
Sounds
and
terrible.
I'm like, God, and I'm like, listen, I was telling you, and I'm like, no, 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 don't listen to the news. Like, remember I was telling you about hex.com or like whatever you're into, like within the ecosystem. I'm like, we're unaffected. Like it's like everything's good. Like continue to do your research, and it's like they don't really understand the context. But then again, I wonder, man,
Yeah,
like
and
like
especially they don't understand the opportunity that it is to get in at the real bottom of the market. There's a
Hey,
fear
is
factor.
the I apologize. Is the group chat open for anyone, or do I need to like raise my hand or something?
No, you can step in.
Oh, okay, cool. I didn't mean to interrupt you, but yeah, I totally agree, man. Like, I mean, negative news spreads like fucking 5 times faster than like positive news, and like, it's just, I mean, all these news channels and newspapers and magazines. I mean, they just like my boss sent me 2 magazines yesterday that said like crypto in ruins and like the downfall of crypto. And I was actually excited because I was like, all right, the bottom's in. Because, you know, once mainstream media essentially says like
Yeah,
when they have this negative sentiment, it's like, you know, that the bottom is in or very
exactly.
close and it's about to reverse.
Capitulation
Like
soon.
there's this whole like my family is like very like normie, like legacy, and like they read like they're like we're American. I'm in the Northeast, so like their newspapers, the New York Times, and like thankfully they read the Economist, but that's still pretty mainstream, even though they're intelligent. It's all mainstream stuff. And like there's this finally on the Economist, there was just like the heading was like the downfall of crypto. I think that's probably even what you're referring to. And it's like it's so dramatic, to the legacy
Right.
people, like, oh, dun, 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 dun. I'm like, I called my fam and I'm like, can you please save me that, that, that like save the magazine. And they're like just the cover. I'm like, no, the whole thing, just save it, please. Just put it in plastic for me. I'll pick it up whenever I see you next, like it's like,
I mean, it's true though. I mean, just people in general, just like, I mean, human beings, we just are just, and most people are naturally just negative and they lean towards it. So like it's more appealing for most people. Like if they see anything negative, they're just more interested. I mean, that's just how I feel like that's just human nature. I mean, I feel like most of us in crypto that are here to stay, we're more optimistic about everything. But I feel like most people are just negative and they feed it, like they feed into it so easily.
yeah, well, it's a part of the legacy game because they're going to be selling it back to everyone within 5 years. You know that. So it's just
Yeah.
they're
Yeah,
setting everybody up.
and they say this every cycle. Every cycle it's like, okay, it's never gonna recover. Crypto is dead.
Yeah,
I do
I
agree.
2018 was bad, but like I don't know, like I mean this I suffered. I got in 2017, and of course I was a noob. I didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I never sold, and I mean 2018 was pretty bad. But this bear market, I think it's almost like even equally bad or just like worse. But
Yeah, there
it's
has
the
been
same
a
shit though.
couple of
Like
things collapsing also, like in the last 6 months.
yeah,
So
like in
much is going
2018 we
down.
didn't have all these centralized exchanges collapsing. I mean I don't remember that at all. Um, it was just, it was very heavy negative sentiment though. But this bear market, just one centralized exchange after another. It's freaking crazy. It's good to see. I think Lord Hedron. It's good to see him actually in the voice chat because I watched some. I think it's called Crypto Gems, and I always hear him actually in the videos. So I think it's pretty cool that he's in this chat right now.
Right. So, which Lord Hedron is because I've heard I'm coming.
That's
I
not
heard
him.
that I got a clone on
Oh,
Twitter.
I'm sorry.
That's the other guy, man.
Yeah, it might. Sorry, it could be someone else. And I thought it was Lord Hedron, but I think it's someone else. But Lord Hedron, you said you're in. Did you say you're in Jamaica?
So first two things, I am the official Lord Hedron. Secondly, I am Jamaican too. Yes.
He's like, I just need to make that clear. No, I thought that was pretty cool that you were saying that you were actually teaching a class down there. That's pretty awesome.
Yeah, Lord Hedron is bringing crypto to his community. Like everyone's trying to do in a way. Like I have a very hard time bringing people within my community because I live so far away from the Caribbean that, like, I'm so far into Babylon that people are so distracted they can't even hear it. You know.
Sorry about my delay there, guys. I was brushing my daughter's teeth. So yeah, just to appreciate that compliment there. I do, since last year, it was last year August September, after sacrifice, where I started doing it, because a lot of persons didn't know about sacrifice, didn't really know about hex, and again, being an old Bitcoin guy, I can tell you that when I found out about Bitcoin, the narrative was very difficult to communicate to anybody. If I tell you that I have two friends here in Jamaica that actually bought Bitcoins because I had found out about it, I'd be lying to you. It was very hard. So it's been far easier in terms of teaching or opening up about Hex and ETH and all the different projects that I come across, especially given that I became an admin with the Hedron group, and thanks to Alex for that, I learned a lot about that project as well as Icosa and Waters and so forth. So it's been great teaching. It's also been just as difficult whenever you're going through a bear market, because less people have dry powder to take actions with stuff. It's the best time to teach, but less people find the time to learn during this period. And that's the number one thing I'm learning about how people can exponentially change their lives because you get blinded by the time. And it's I totally understand why, because I grew up poor too. I know what it's like to have to focus on only what's right in front of you to get by day. I get it, because right now we're going through a global pandemic, and it's not just one with COVID. It's financially, people are still not going to be able to recover from 2008 right now. They're not going to recover from 2018, 19 right now, and 2022 is a whole different thing. Um, it if most of us even step back for a second and realize in the last 2 years, almost everything is up over 200%, from gasoline to food on the shelves to how people move around day by day and do commerce with each other. It's been very difficult. Um, if most for most of us, if it's still favorable and you're in the middle class, Alex was making a post about this the other day on Twitter, that you're beginning to see it because it's like a slow grind and a halt. For people who are not in the upper middle class, but you're lower middle class to being broke, right? That grind has been consistent and very consistent with high frequency. So lives are being changed, right? We for those of us here, it's very it's very much an opportune thing for us to be able to have an echo chamber of discussions where we can help to reassure each other. 1 second, guys.
I mean, yeah, I mean, I feel like that's what most people are here for, that, for life changing money, man, to be financially free. I mean, I feel like I'm one of the few people that got in cryptocurrency in 2017 that's not a millionaire yet, because I just made so many bad decisions. But I feel like, yeah, Hex, well, the Richard Hart ecosystem will hopefully change all that. But
So let me ask you this question, right? What were some of those choices? Like, you see, experience teaches wisdom, right? And as I said,
absolutely.
when we were here with, when I came over into this space, I met the guys who I spoke to. A lot of their experiences has helped me move forward. So, what were some of those experiences that you consider to be bad choices that were made that stopped you from being a millionaire in your
Yeah,
life?
so, and that's a good question. I actually talked to a few people about this, and it motivates me, because you need enough self conviction to actually change your entire like mentality. And I pretty much maxed it out. I mean, it literally took me about 3 or 4 years to finally realize that just holding. I mean, the only true way to make money in this crypto space is by holding. So it took me like 3 or 4 years to finally realize that, bro. Because like I'm saying, I got in Bitcoin in 2017 around 5 grand. I threw like $500 in it, and I had like 6 grand in March, and or not March, but like the peak of 2018, it went from like 500 to like 6 grand. It was crazy. And then the whole entire 2018 bear market, it was crashing and crashing. Of course, I didn't know anything about crypto. So I'm like, what's going on? What's going on? And then that just, I mean, I think I was even too emotionally invested, meaning like it was only $500, but because I saw the potential of like what I can make in the space, that's when I started getting a little bit like too desperate, in a sense, where I was trying to, I've done everything in the book. Like after in 2018, when I lost all that money, I was trying to leverage trade. I was trying to learn how to day trade. Like I was doing everything in the book. And then, then it seems I was so focused and I was learning and learning and learning. I was learning market cycles, and I watched Crypto Zombie. I'm not sure if you guys heard of him, but I watched him since 2017. I've watched CBC, which is Bitcoin Chris. Like I just watch their videos every single day, and I just try to learn. But they never, those channels never really preached holding though. I mean, Crypto Zombie did a little bit, but CBC was like a day trader, and I think I was just watching the wrong people, and I was
You ever
learning.
watched Dollar Cross Crypto?
Well, I discovered him in January this year. So literally, I didn't discover Hex till January of 2022, and that's when my whole mentality shifted because it was everything I was looking for, like delayed gratification. Like that's exactly what I was looking for because in these markets in the 4 years prior that I was in it, it was more emotional and I kept making bad decisions. I kept investing into the wrong projects. I think the my biggest loss was Matic. So I invested like in like the 2018 bear market, I invested like $3,000 in Matic when it was less than one penny. But these Telegram group chats, man, like they can get to you. Like especially in a bear market, the negative sentiment is what essentially made like it put so much fear in me in the 2018 bear market that I sold all my Matic because everyone was so bearish saying it was a scam. And I'm like, bro, if I would have just held it for an extra year, I would have been a millionaire. But because like it was just those type of decisions. I was actually investing in the right
But
projects, but I wasn't holding too long.
that's like that with so many things, man.
Yeah. But I mean, so like I said, I was trying to learn how to day trade, got wrecked. Trying to learn how to leverage trade, got wrecked. I invested in some of the right projects, but I just didn't hold long enough because I was just impatient, I guess. And I think it actually has to come down to like just me. I mean, like I feel like it's per individual. Like for me, I never learned the concept of saving because I mean, I can't blame my parents for this, but like the only concept I learned was when I was like 16. When I worked at Burger King, I actually saved up like 4 or 5 grand, and then my parents used it to pay bills. So I'd actually never grasped or learned the concept of saving. So I guess I've always just been impatient. So I would always hold projects for only like a year or two and they won't do anything. And then I would just sell. And I think that was just the bad habit I was in. Like I would find great projects not hold long enough. But like once in January came along, dollar cost crypto, Miguel, that dude's freaking awesome. Like first off, I started watching Fresh and Fit like a couple years before all the hype, and dollar cost crypto was on their channel. So I was like, who is this guy? Who's this guy, Miguel? Like, he seems like a down to earth, fun, great dude. Like, who is this guy? And then he started preaching about Hex. And that's how I essentially got on Hex, which was in January. And then ever
January.
since, what's
Cool, man.
that?
No, cool. That's cool, man. Sounds like you're like seeking knowledge, bro. It's hard to
Yeah.
find.
Like I said, I built enough self conviction in the past 3, 4 years, like prior to January, that my mind has finally shifted to holding. Like no matter what, just hold. Because I mean that's the only true way to make money in crypto.
Yeah,
So
you learn that from experience, man, with the Matic
exactly.
or
So
like whatever. Yeah.
exactly. So through all that negative, just through all that experience, my mind finally shifted, and I feel like Hex is the perfect for that because of that delayed gratification. So I did set up some stakes and everything, and then of course now I'm in Hedron and Icosa, and the yield is amazing on Cosa, even though it's like super inflationary right now. But obviously it's temporary, and most people would agree. But I mean, I'm in this whole year, like I work in the mortgage industry. I work for a lender. I'm down here in Tampa, Florida, and this year has been super slow just in our industry because rates are so high. So like literally like 5 hours a day at my job, all I do is just essentially watch live streams and watch, like I'm just learning. And it seems like the star, even though we're in a bear market, it just seems like the stars are aligning. It doesn't make sense in a way. But I mean, like I said, I'm just trying to invest as much as I can, accumulate, and just do stakes. And now I'm essentially in Hedron, Icosa, and Hex. But obviously, we're all waiting for post chain and post X and things like that.
Nice.
This is what I love about our space. When you can have genuine experiences being shared like this, let me tell you this, man. Thank you for that, because a lot of people I've found in this space, you have to learn from the failures. It doesn't matter how long it takes you. Sorry about the background noise. My brother-in-law, my brother are playing on the PlayStation. Sorry about that. But I've come to learn that these things happen. You're gonna have these failures. You're gonna have these challenges, and these learning curves. And as he rightfully said a while ago, the number one thing is to learn how to hold for longer. Like the huddle game is not a joke. Holding on for dear life is making a mental decision to do something that's uncomfortable, but with the biggest reward. Because even Matic, if you had held Matic for twice as long, you would have been far more profitable. And then you would have learned about how that chain operates and what are the tokens on it that make sense for you to hold even more of by using the Matic to enable yourself. So with every chain, it's always like that. Remember the principle: the blockchain is far more important than the token. The token is a application, and it has sometimes a single use, sometimes multiple uses, and sometimes that token can be accompanied with another contract like Hex is with Hedron and Icosa that gives you a plethora of options as a trifecta. But at the end of the day, what is a blockchain trying to help you to achieve? Those things matter. So for all of us here, the number one thing I would say to people, security matters first, and it's the hardest one to master. Sorry, then it's important to learn the discipline of hodling. It's not a joke, it's not just a meme. Holding on for dear life is simply you making a choice to give yourself enough time to recognize the gains that you're looking for. And for some people, that's just a math problem. So I want a 10x gain, a 100x, a 1000x, a 10,000x. The reason why the Bitcoin guys can walk around is because their gain that they've had so far ain't no joke. It's been massive, right? And it's been massive and consistent. For the guys who've held on on to Ethereum since 2015, their gains have been massive and consistent. So you need time. And the two most prominent assets says, if you give me time, I will reward you. That's it.
Right, man. I really wish I found Hex earlier, man, because there was literally no other cryptocurrency just like Hex. Like, obviously, there's a lot of cryptocurrencies that offer yield, but the way Hex is designed is like for you to essentially hold it, because obviously you'll be penalized if you try to emergency end stake. So it's like, and that's something I need entirely, because like I said, because I never built a foundation on just saving, because all I do is spend, spend, spend. Hex is making me learn how to save and essentially appreciate that delayed gratification and understand it, which is in a way life changing for me in a sense, because it's like I said, it's shifted my mindset, which is awesome.
That's awesome, man. Crypto Chino, your mic's open, man. How you doing?
Oh yeah. That's been me the whole time.
Okay, hold on. Wow, I got that wrong.
Dad, did you remember this number yesterday?
But Lord Hedron, how long have you been in this space?
Okay, Mama, I know. I'll be with you shortly. In the Pulse Chain Hex ecosystem, since last year, February, March, in all of crypto and blockchain since 2010.
Oh wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, I went through my pains too. I lost all my Bitcoin in about 2013, over 1,000 of them. Been a minute.
And were you a miner?
In the early days, you kind of had to be. So if those were the times when you could do it on your laptop. So I just gotten kicked out of college at a little HP machine, and yeah, I ran the miner too. But how I got into the space was through some internet relay chat room, and somebody said they could show me how to set up this thing called Bitcoin if I sent them $10. So I sent some random dude $10 to an address that he told me about. Here from Jamaica. Yep. Um, and looking back, I could have just installed the Bitcoin core stuff myself. But that's how I got started.
That's pretty awesome. I have a twin brother, and I essentially got him into crypto probably like 2019 ish, and he actually dove pretty deep because I was more of like in the space like day trading essentially, but he actually built rigs and was actually mining Ethereum and stuff. Um, so I understood now the process of it because he bought like I understood like GPUs and he was using like a bunch of GPUs to build a rig and he was mining and that was pretty cool watching him do that because I learned a lot.
Again, I get caught talking with the mic off. Sorry about that, guys. Yeah, man. Thanks for sharing that, man. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah, and I think right now Hedron's pretty good price right now, especially I think I don't know if you guys watch Axis, but I think we're in the OA area, and it's a good time to buy.
Let me go look at that right now. Let's talk about that. Let's look at that right now. So doing checking Hedron price HDRN.
You're talking about the OA wall on the hex hedron pair?
I think so. I mean, from what I remember when Axis was showing a stream, I think it was Hex Hedron pair.
Holy heavens! I didn't see the price for Hedron. I'm gonna go get some Hedron. Woo! Nice.
You're welcome.
Bullish.
Don't sleep on Hedron.
Yeah, man. I mean, I can't believe I mean, there's so much like now that I understand the concept of just holding, bro, I'm just trying to buy as much Icosa Hedron Hex as possible. It sucks though, because like I've been spending so much money on Christmas gifts. Because I got like 3 other brothers, I got my girlfriend and her family and stuff like that. But I get my bonus like January 15th, and I'm just hoping Pulse Chain does not launch before January 15th.
Well, they would have had to hold on to them Christmas gifts because I'm telling you, you're getting your Christmas gift in January. I gotta listen. The one thing I learned about markets, it does not wait on any sentiment whatsoever. I've learned that
Yeah.
ever.
Yeah, Pulse Chain. I mean, like I said, I mean, a lot of people are now leaning towards March, which I'm hoping it is, because, like I said, I'm just going to try to dump as much money as possible between January and March, or just in general until Pulse Chain launches. But yeah,
I
Yeah,
get
plus
that,
free copy
but don't
before
forget
launch.
that DCA is very, very powerful as a tool. Dollar cost average your way in, right?
oh yeah, absolutely. This entire 2022, I've been dollar cost averaging on the whole entire way down up until November 15th. I was DCing because, like I said, I was putting money aside for Christmas gifts and stuff. And it's funny you were talking about like just that experience builds wisdom and knowledge and things like that. But bro, no one listens to me, bro. If I'm not a millionaire in cryptocurrency, no one listens to me.
What's funny about that? Um, I fall victim a lot to the same narrative, right? So I've had somebody once tell me, "Hey, you had all them bitcoins. Where's the goddamn money?" And I realized that even if I had the money right in front of me to show those people, I still couldn't help them. The person who really wants to learn about cryptocurrencies and learn from you, they're not there to see how much you have. That'd be great if you had it to just show it in front of them like it was physical notes. But that's not the priority. If you've ever met a really wealthy person in your life, when you're having a conversation with them, there was no money at the table. They're passing on the disciplines and the wisdoms required to become or do what they've done. That's what you need to share with them. So if you really have compounded wisdom that you are confident in, you don't have to worry about who you share with. The right purpose person will listen. As I said, when I learned about Bitcoin, I was a student of the game too. I'm into this space now. I'm still a student of the game. I'm still learning. But the most important thing is the people I talk to now. I don't owe it to anybody to have information to give to you. And I also know that nobody has to listen. And I also know I could be wrong. So far, I've not been wrong too much in terms of the stuff that I've picked to work with and how I've done it. Because at the end of the day, I have to manage me and my portfolio. When somebody else may like Hex a certain way, somebody may not. Somebody may understand another chain. So as I said, before I get caught up in the chain, I'm a blockchain evangelist. I will talk about blockchain all day because whatever you build on top of it, whatever people prefer, there's going to be options, but it must serve you. And anything you have must serve you. And I think that in this space, we can go beyond just thought and look at what the market is saying to us. Wherever you may feel, this asset is still valid. This asset has been upward and to the right over time. Should you be the type of person that wants this in your portfolio, hold on to this token or hold on to this coin. That's all crypto requires of people. So with all the news that have happened even this year, it's
Grandma said she's going to glue it for me.
wonderful, wonderful, right? With all the news that has been happening, with all the failures and all this stuff.
It's not wonderful.
Mama, I'm talking on the phone here. Sorry about that, guys. We gotta work on the manners, okay? We either say good night or we wait, okay? Well, don't say it. That's how it works, okay? So
Yeah, for me personally, the only crypto related. I mean, there's literally no one around me, like in this space, like I am, like actually studies it a lot, and it's very knowledgeable, and I can have real discussions. Because, like I said earlier, like most people had negative sentiment towards crypto, especially now. So it's like it's hard for me. Like even at my job, like I'll be in the break room where I'll just be like, chatting and stuff. I'm like, yo, the bottom is it's now or near, like it's now or it's very close, man. Start buying the dips, start buying the bottom. Like I always tell, and they just laugh at me. I'm like, all right, whatever. That's why I'm like, I'm hoping a year or two I could just prove them wrong in a year or two. But I mean, like I said, I'm in Tampa, Florida, and I'm sure I know there's a lot of crypto people here, but I haven't found one person I could actually have a genuine discussion with, like in real life. Like the only time I have any type of discussion about crypto is literally in the Telegram group chats or just in the live streams or on YouTube. And it's kind of weird because I just feel like a lone wolf, and I'm like, man, if you guys just listen to me, maybe one day you could just be rich. Like,
well,
but
if I could help you, right? I'm gonna give you use numbers to help you with something. There are about 8-9 billion of us on the planet. Less than 0.5% of that total number of people are involved in crypto in terms of being their own custodians, having their own assets that they protect, and being smart about how they manage that portfolio of assets. Very small number of people. Out of that small number of people, less than 0.1% of those people are Hexicans.
Daddy,
So it's gonna feel
look
strange.
what
Don't you
I
worry.
I
It's
did.
okay.
yeah, I understand. I mean, yeah, that's what dollar cost crypto said as well, and I definitely get that. It's just I just hate that. I mean, crypto just has a bad rep on it currently. That's like you can't even anytime you try to talk to somebody about it or just teach somebody, they just already have those doubts, and it's like they ignore everything you say. And I'm like, I guess the only way I could just prove you wrong was just making it in the next bull run and becoming successful, and then you'll listen. But like you said, I mean, it's at the end of the day, it's a very small minority. But hopefully by like 2030, hopefully maybe 5 or 10% of the world being crypto.
There will be a lot of adoption.
Oh, what's that?
That would be a lot of adoption compared to now.
Yeah, man, they were doing a comparison like with the internet. I feel like with the internet, like the first 10 years was like a very small growth, but like the next 10 years, it was like a massively like scaled growth that was like I think 5 or 10 times like stronger or something like that. Like they were comparing it to like the internet as far as what crypto will do. I mean, I know we're like what 13 or 14 years in, but like they're saying by 2030 it could be just hopefully a lot more.
Yeah, well, in the beginning, there was like for the first year, there wasn't pretty much only Bitcoin. So it's yeah, it's a long way to go still.
Uh, And the thing with crypto that's becoming genuinely difficult is to really quantify who really understands or who really interacts with blockchain assets like cryptocurrencies, any at all. You're gonna have to start putting them in tiers. So tier one are the people who are not only diehard crypto fans, but actually die. Yes, they have tiers, mommy. Diehard structural people with crypto. They understand clearly that anything that I hold on to, I'm not the owner of. To be the custodian of it, I have to be in total control of those custodial assets and how I use them. That's tier one. That number of people will grow steadily, not fast, not slow, just steady. The tier two people who will have a custodian external to themselves hold the viewing and possible control or joint control of the private keys for their assets. Those people will grow exponentially. Those are the internet adoption after the early adopters, right? That's when you get to the masses. The tier three are the people who everything that they have, they'll throw it into a FTX. If you guys will get what I'm saying, they'll throw it into an FTX. So not only do you are the custodian of my capital, you're the custodian of the assets that I'm trying to acquire, and I really don't have any control over it because I'm giving you my money to do what you want to do with it. That is the only reason where the only part of me that with everything that's happening, I am not at all upset with what happened with FTX. Not because I wish bad for people, but because almost everybody that they put their money over there went in there for a cash grab and not the discipline of crypto. That essentially is my problem. And though I didn't want that to happen for them, after CZ found out what he found out with that's going on with FTX, he made all that information public and pulled his Binance investment out of it, which put FTX in a very difficult position because Binance being the largest shareholder, again, you're giving a centralized entity the authority to manage the holdings of the public, right? And you give them the FTT token, which is something that you use like it is a proxy to real world currency, which is fiat, and it worked against them. None of that had anything to do with cryptocurrency. All of that had to do with bad business management policies. So, though it's painful, and as somebody, it didn't hit me directly, but having experienced my hurt from losing the bitcoins that I was the custodian of because my decisions weren't right or I wasn't as informed, know that these people are still crypto holders. They should be looking to move themselves up another tier because they're now in the masses, and the masses care more about speed and somebody else has having control rather than themselves. That's an issue for me, but they're still members of the community.
And tiers, did you mean like depth? Like obviously, like if you're a noob, like most people are obviously hesitant, so they're trying to put their money in the safest place. And unfortunately, they think that putting them on exchanges is the safest place. But I feel like if that's is that like tier, that's essentially a tier. And then if you're in the space long enough, you start to realize that no, not your keys, not your crypto. This is why you have hard wallets and software wallets, and that's like a separate tier because you're diving deeper into that. Is that kind of like what you meant?
Yeah, so that kind of leans into it somewhat, but then there's another aspect of it. Not every noob automatically ends up in that tier because you have noobs that they have a mentor, they have a guide, or they actually care about reading the information.
Yeah, I wish I had a mentor, but I feel like most people that are getting into the space are essentially noobs because, well, I mean, I feel like it depends on what time that they're coming into the space. Like if you're in a bear market, I feel like you could have a mentor that's helping you get into the space. But if you're in a bull market and it's nothing but FOMO, 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 it's more of like an emotional sentiment. Like you just want to get in, I don't care, and people just jump in and just buy, buy, buy. Um, so I guess it depends.
Even in that light, right? And I would say this, and I say this with my chest: nobody coming into crypto should come in buying anything on the first day. Nobody. I don't care what the price looks like, because this space is not about price; it's about volume. We're all playing an essential role as holders to hold on to a certain amount of volume of a particular token that we trust to hold for a long time, not just because we can sell it off shortly. Now, there are people with other narratives, because some people are here, but you shouldn't get so personally attached to a token. And it's not getting personally attached. The aim of holding on to anything is so that it can make you a profit. Why are you going to hold for a short amount of time when just holding for twice as long or three times as long gives you 30x, 100x, 1000x the gains that you're looking for? Like, really think about it, right? So sometimes a person comes into the space and they come right in and they buy something for 3 grand, and tomorrow morning it's worth $1,500. It's lost 50% of its margin in a couple of days, and they panic. And they're like, but what am I going to do? And I'm like, what were you going to do with that 3 grand anyway? If you had bought a house for $3,000, would you sell the house tomorrow morning because the community that you live in, the house went down half 50% tomorrow? No, you wouldn't. You'd hold your house because you're looking for those market prices that are more favorable when the house becomes 10,000, 15,000, 20,000, right? Because you had made a sacrifice to put equity and swap it for another format of a currency that has value. So for me, I've always said to people, when you're coming in, don't be buying anything. Learn the correct principles first. When I'm teaching my class, I actually have a video on the principles of money by Mike Maloney, and I use a video from Andreas Antonopoulos that speaks specifically about the story we tell ourselves about money. And I ask people, and I could rank them quickly in tier 1, 2, 3, or a new tier called tier 4, where you're just noob and want to be abused. And I give them those videos and say, watch this, make notes. And the people who take 6 months to watch even one of them nor make notes, I know you're in a tier 4. Because you're gonna make every mistake in the world, not because you're stupid, just because you're not attuned to the discipline. And then the tier 1 people, they'll watch those videos tonight and message you 3 o'clock in the morning and say, okay, I get this. Why did he say that? And they ask the right questions. Why is this important to do? The type of person that will say to you, so, okay, every transaction I do on Ethereum, I need ETH to pay for my gas fee. So even if I buy Hex, I'm going to need ETH to pay for that transaction. On day one, that person is immediately a tier 2 to a tier 1 person, and most times a tier 1, right? They ask the right questions early. They're looking for where they could mess up because they don't want to waste not their money, they don't want to waste their time not being efficient. So that's a thing for me. And then the person who comes in, tries to focus on efficiency too much, makes mistakes, but don't quit, they end up in a tier 2, moving exactly upwards to tier 1. Those people tend not to quit. So I'm learning these things as I talk to more people in the space, that with all the altcoins are out there, you're gonna take some risk. You're not gonna Everything is not gonna be a big bargain, big bang for your buck tomorrow morning. Everything requires time, however, and that's the key thing.
Yeah, I definitely agree 1,000%. I mean, I've only gotten a few people in this space, and of course, there's always people that ask me like, "Should I get it now? Should I get it now?" I never really provide any financial advice because I essentially tell people like the first thing I'm like, find a cryptocurrency. I mean, just for the low risk, I'll be like, look at the top 10 and just go from there. Click on a cryptocurrency and start doing research. Do not buy. Like that's essentially what I tell people because, well, one, I don't want to tell them to get in a coin now, but I want them to understand. But it's so rare when people actually want to learn the blockchain or learn like just dive deep because most people feel like they just don't have time. Like so they won't put in at least an hour just to like learn about that cryptocurrency, or because the knowledge and it's like an abundant like infinite like encyclopedia of just cryptocurrency. Like you learn so much, and of course, like I'm learning every single day, just like everybody else. But it's so much information. A lot of people just get scared, and they're like, "Man, it's just a waste of time. I don't want to do this." So most people don't put in the work, and this is why like they essentially just buy. Like essentially, I'm a victim. I'm not a victim, but I did that same thing in 2017. Like I did no research. I just bought and I got wrecked. So obviously, just from my experiences, I always try to tell people, man, like especially like even with Hex, like I've only talked to a few people, but I got my girlfriend into Hex, but I like literally sat down with her and like went over everything about Hex before she was able to invest. And she's already a frugal person and she saves a lot, so it's easier for her to not FOMO. But like just trying to teach other people not to do that, it's pretty tough because they, I mean, especially we live in an attention society where everyone wants something fast. Like even like everything is just super fast nowadays that nobody actually wants to put the time in to learn. And so then when I tell people that, unfortunately, they just don't want to hear it. But I'm like, man, then you're just gonna get wrecked. I wouldn't recommend investing if you're not gonna put at least an hour in just trying to understand blockchain and cryptocurrencies.
Got caught slipping again with the mic off. Sorry. But you're right, man. And again, you shared a wealth of knowledge right there again. You know, when you've chosen to have your experience, right? Like yours, you came in 2017, you just bought stuff, you had the dry powder. For me, when I went in, I bought somebody telling me that, I could show you how to set up this Bitcoin thing for $10. If you really look at it, the amount of money that I sent to that person to show me how to set up Bitcoin, I didn't actually buy Bitcoin. So let's say I paid him for his time. So the desire now to go out there and figure out how to set this thing up and make it work, and you're looking at your little laptop that you have to have plugged in all the time, running this Bitcoin thing, right? That made no sense to your family, no sense to your friends. The more it's spoken, I remember the other day, one of my closest friends, me and him had an argument because I was saying to him, dude, I've been trying to talk to you about Bitcoin since 2010. Do you remember the first time I said it to you? He's like, yeah, we were playing FIFA. And I'm like, do you remember what you said to me? Like, dude, shut up with the nerd shit. You're always talking about something else. Let's play some football. That's what he said. Just play some football. That was 2010. It's 2022. I'm like, dude, when are you going to listen? And he got really mad at me because he's like, every time it feels like you're judging me. I'm saying, I'm not judging you. I'm letting you know that our conversations as friends, if we're not talking about girls, you don't want to talk about shit. No business, nothing new. Nothing either that it would be had myself and yourself taken a chance from 2010. It's been 12 years. Let's say I lost all my shit. At least you would have something. One of us would have some point of reference that we can say, well, we held on to something right. That time has gone. We're back here. We're still not talking. So, as you said earlier, sometimes it's hard to get the person next door to you to talk about crypto. But please understand that's not their job and it's not yours either. All of us are total strangers from different walks of life here on Telegram, all 23 of us. Most of us have never met each other before. Most of us live very, very differentiated or very unique lives right now. And we're grateful that we're on the call because this is an echo chamber for us to talk about something that's similar. But when we go to bed at night, we're grateful that we get to wake up in the morning and some of us are still here because the person who sits next to us, a lot of times, tell me if I'm lying, guys. Most of us feel like Neo at times in the Matrix movie when the next person to you just does not get it. Am I lying? Yes or no?
No, you're definitely not lying.
Many times it's just like, oh my god, this feels like the Matrix movie. Like nobody gets this thing. And then one day Morpheus pulls up, and then you got to get it for yourself. So for me, the acceptance for me was when I came back into this space last year and realized nobody's gonna handhold you through this process. You're gonna have, doesn't matter what you hear, what is done, what do you think, whatever you think you're seeing, you're gonna have to figure it out. Some of us on this call here, like myself, we're gonna have to build to, contracts in the future that do things. I have contracts in mind. I have projects in mind too because there are things that I would love to see done in this space that's just not done yet. And even if it's done in a particular way, the way I want it to be a benefit to the people I want in my charge that this token should take care of, it's just not there. I love the fact that you can build something in a decentralized space founder or not, and it impacts the life of other people because they choose to make it a part of their lives.
You building
Right.
any tokens? Anyone can do this locally. It's amazing idea.
Repeat that.
I'm saying like to build a token. It's like it seems so almost like people might criticize you, like, oh, why are you trying to imitate someone else? But like to create a token within a local community for a specific use case is so powerful.
That's very true. That's very, very true.
And going back to what you said about your buddy, that I mean, when you first discussed about FIFA, I mean, it sucks though because it's like you're coming from a place from love. Like I mean, you obviously love that person as your brother or friend, and you want to take care of them. So it's like you want to teach these things because you want to see them grow and become successful. And it sucks because just no one, I mean, just no one wants to listen to you. But like I said, that's why like it's like I've tried enough, and I have a pretty large group of friends. Like I have at least like 10 to 15 people, and we're like in group chats. And it's funny because I actually learned a lot about the red pill space and hex around like the same time. Like I've been diving deep in both, and I'm like starting to realize like I'm the only person now that I'm like the only person in the group that only knows crypto. I'm like the only person in the group that knows about the red pill too. Like I'm red pill aware now, and like, and it's funny you said the matrix because I feel like literally everyone around me feels like they're in the matrix. They don't even realize it, and I'm like the only red pill person, and now I'm the only crypto person. Like I definitely feel like in a
Well,
outcome.
like it's hard to realize like the future, like in a way, like the way you see things making sense. But if your money doesn't flow that way, like it's still just idealism and fluff. But I mean, like decentralized finance is like it's something that can't be destroyed on chain in a way. I mean, it in terms of like there's activity, and then there's like okay onboarding, and then there's the bridge, and then there's all these different like aspects of like like realistically like realizing the activity that you're trying to do. But if you can manage your money in a certain way, and I don't mean money like in terms of dollars, but in terms of the value that you see that your activity brings, and the freedom to just interact with that way, uh the onboarding, and like it's there are tons of side topics here, but that's like the crux of it, is like how are you going to interact with yourself.
Right, right.
And then there's trading, that's always fun, but like that's not the point, it's really not the point.
Can definitely say though, this is by far the best community I've ever been in. And like I said, I've been here since what 2017. I've never been in a cryptocurrency like the Hex community. Like it's by far like the best.
Yeah, pretty much agreed, man. Like no one likes each other, but like it's the most like informed, like inspired and educated community, I think, honestly, in this space that I've seen when I really look around. I mean, there's a lot of options and a lot of things happening, but in terms of community, holy shit, man! Like hands down.
Yeah, like last week, like I'm in the Telegram. I have just had the chat open, and I'll say some things in the Hex chat. Um, and I think someone DM me, and I forgot his name. But he's like, "Hey man, you got a minute?" And I thought it was like obviously a scammer, but we're actually going back and forth and actually communicating about Hex. And I genuinely felt bad for him because
You
I was.
can always tell like when it's someone actually for real. Like if it's in real time, like it makes a difference.
Yeah, absolutely. And that was like the first indicator. Like once he was like responding immediately and he was actually getting personal, like in the sense like he's like, "Hey man, I just got into space last year. Unfortunately, I bought the top. I don't know what to do. Like I have to take care of my family." And that kind of hit me hard because like I just remember myself being in the bull market in 2017 and
Yeah,
crashing in
because we're all
2018.
down. I mean, everybody is down right now. Like who's really up? Nobody.
Yeah, exactly. And he's like, "Hey, man, you got a minute?" Because he just seemed like he just thought I was very knowledgeable in the space in general. So then I literally spent my lunch break talking to him for 25 minutes, just talking about, Hex and like talking about how cycles work with Bitcoin. And I was just explaining to him, like, it's okay, man, just hold, like, don't sell. That's exactly what I did in 2018. I sold and I regretted it. Like I said, that experience helped me actually help someone else. And hopefully I did help them, but but that was going back to like just being like the Hex community, just being almost like a family, like helping each other out. I was able to help somebody out, and that meant a lot to me, and I'm sure it meant a lot to him. And we were just having.
Yeah, you talked about like understanding like cycles. It's critical, man. Just your time horizon. Like what's your
Yeah,
time?
yeah,
Like
and I guess Hex has
almost in
like a
a way
different
like
cycle, but
what's that?
yeah, I was saying, and I guess Hex kind of has like a different cycle in a sense because I mean Hex topped first before Bitcoin did, and we've essentially been in the bear market for like 455 days, but no one's keeping count, right? But we've been in a bear market a lot longer
No,
than Bitcoin.
it is what it is. I mean, like
Yeah,
we're all here. It's like it is what it is.
yeah. So I was essentially, I mean, it's funny because we just did a voice chat like this, and he's from Pennsylvania, and I was just like, hey man, like I said, man, I mean, cycles happen like this. I'm telling you, bro, just keep DCAing and then wait another 2 years. I was telling him like to wait till at least like 2025 because that's when I think the top of the next bull market will be. And he's like, all right, man, but like, and it's hard for me to actually um, understand where he's coming from because I don't have I don't have a wife and kids, and he did, so he just has a lot more pressure. So it was hard for me to try to truly sympathize with him. Like I definitely try to be, but it's like I don't truly know that experience. But I mean, I was just
Yeah,
trying to
just
make.
tell them $20 a week, man. Like that'll keep you in the game. Honestly, like literally, it's like we're all so fucking early.
Yeah, especially in the Icosa and Hedron. Like I'm more excited about these
In
projects because
anything,
they're fairly new.
we're so early.
Right.
But especially like exactly, like especially in these protocols that are like really young. Yeah, I mean, when would you want to invest in a protocol ever? At the beginning?
Yeah, and I like that a lot of people think that Hedrons is essentially like a second chance. Like I missed the first Hex run up, but they're like Hedron. I mean, the way it's designed, man, if you miss the first run up with Hex, I mean, this is like your second chance with Hedron, and that kind of like appealed me. Like I was attracted towards that. But I mean, I didn't FOMO obviously. I was still understanding it because I mean, understanding Hedron and the Kosa and the Watsas and the HSIs is a
It's
pretty yeah.
it's a hex derivative, man. It's complicated. It's like it's a way to participate in the ecosystem, um, like with responsibility and understanding, of course. But I'm saying, uh, everyone in hex is stake and like keep your commitment and do your thing. But like the reality is everyone has like we're talking about life. People are different stages in experience and knowledge. Any it's like a degen option that doesn't take away from the ecosystem. Is like the best way I could describe it to someone who has no idea of it.
Right.
And it's
And And I tell people that on even some live streams, because I follow a lot of people on YouTube in the Hex ecosystem, like Axis and Dollar Cost Crypto. Like there's like 5 others, and there's like people bashing on Hedron and Icosa. I'm like, bro, if Hex moves, Hedron and Icosa are gonna move with it, and they're gonna have higher ceiling prices. Like I'm trying to explain to them, like you might as well just throw a little bit of money in Icosa and Hedron, because if you truly believe Hex will hit at least $1 or $2, even more, I mean, these things are coming up with it. So I'm trying to like implant that into their brain.
The hex thing's pretty fixed. It's like you can't get out of it, so it's like which is like honestly not the worst thing if your time horizon is long, but sometimes people I mean this space attracts a lot of people that just want to make money, when they want to, and when you lock stuff up, it truly is locked up. um yeah. uh
Yeah. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie. I definitely have some mistakes coming out in like end of 2024, 2025, because I'm trying to time it.
well, that's the cool part too. That's like, I mean, that's the gaming aspect of like, your own like finances in a way. It's like, and to mention this community again, it's like all these stats coming out about how you can even like manage your own investments. It's like I have not seen any other community like overall like giving like such like relevant information for your future to be able to like strategize. uh it's amazing, like amazing.
I mean, you're right. And plus, like the entire Richard Hart like ecosystem in the community, I mean, they're live streaming like every single day. I mean, I feel like Hex in the ecosystem is just growing in the bear market. Like it's all I see. I mean, I know there's algorithms, so it's like essentially it's putting me. I feel like it may be putting in the way of me seeing it, but like all over YouTube, it's just live streams of Hex people, which is awesome.
There are a lot of hex streamers, man, and they don't all get along or understand, or you try to get along with each other, or have different agendas for their personal whatevers. But I mean, and Pulse Chain has not even launched yet, and there are so many projects like act- like formulating around Pulse Chain is it's really impressive, man. And they can't even really go nuts on like streams or advertising or like having an identity yet, like before the launch. So this is like, I don't know what they're going to call this time in history, but this is like I don't know, not adrenaline, with all this like waiting, but
Yeah, you mean like the anticipation?
yeah, like an anticipation vibe, like chemically,
Yeah, and I feel like the longer it's like a spring, like the longer it waits out, the stronger it'll spring. Like like it's gonna explode the longer we wait. Because like
like
everyone is anticipating for it. Like I mean it was
literally,
supposed to launch in May and it never did. And like a
like
lot of people were speculating by November and it never
no, he
did. And
meant
now,
next May. He didn't mean this May. You fell for that? He
no,
meant next May.
oh, I didn't. I mean, I thought. I mean, when I got into the space in January, a lot of people that I followed, like Dollar Cost Crypto. I mean, a lot of these people that are very notable in the space, they were saying May of 2022. Like,
Or Richard was saying 2 weeks, every 2 weeks. It was like, fuck you,
oh,
man. Not serious, not you. I mean, saying fuck Richard,
yeah,
like, and like no one. Oh my god, you said fuck Richard. That's why I'm banned from every Telegram group associated with him. I mean, like, literally, I'm joking, but like, literally, it's like, yeah, 2 weeks, 2 weeks.
yeah. I mean, that's why I essentially stopped saying any type of time frame because like he's been wrong so many times, and he just essentially,
Not even about that, man. At this point, it's
yeah,
like if you're really paying attention, it's like it's not about pointing fingers. It's like, do you win by pointing a finger? You know.
right.
So it's like that's the irony, but Yeah, it's all good.
I mean, that's what I mean. I FOMO'd
look,
though. Like I actually sold my car in April. Like I literally FOMO. Like when I got it, when I first discovered Hex, and I was in the space around January of this year, and I was learning. Bro, I was going balls deep, man. I was like, all right, I'm selling my car in April because everyone's anticipated May for it to launch, and then sure enough, it never did. Like I sold my car for and everything.
it would be nice, man, but I mean, what if it did? That would suck. I mean, look at the space. The space is pathetic. Look what happened
Exactly.
since then, right?
No,
So
I
it's like,
mean, yeah, in hindsight, like I'm definitely thankful he didn't launch it in May because obviously,
yeah,
like
it's not
he
about
didn't.
just launching, you
Right.
know? I mean, look at the fucking space. Like, great. So it's like Pulse Chain exists in this bullshit environment where people are like literally running for the hills and ripping people off again. This is like, this is not a safe environment, man.
No, absolutely, I agree. Like I said, in hindsight, I'm so happy he didn't launch in May. But I mean, I think I was just trying to like correlate it with my birthday because my birthday's in May, so I'm like
No, no, no,
FOMOing.
no. It's all the same. It's just next year, not the, or maybe the year after. I'm saying like, there's no expectations of when.
Oh yeah. I'm talking about. I'm putting myself when back prior to this May, like in January when I first got in.
No, I
Like when
get it. I know.
yeah
I hear it. You're like talking like realism, and like I'm talking like it doesn't fucking matter. I,
exactly. Like I
and
said,
we're just playing with each other. No, I hear you, man. I hear you.
yeah. I'm hoping it launches like between March and May of next year, but like as I said, it's just gonna give all of us more time to dollar cost average into Hex.
Well, yeah, or anything else you like, whatever, man. I mean, seriously, it's like it's not the worst thing in the world.
Feels good that I'm not the only guy that was out here spending, $1,100 on a T-shirt, anticipating, the drop. But I'm still not mad about it.
Yeah, man, that's why I'm like so down to I try to be so open and vocal as possible because I'm like, bro, I'm not the only person that made these mistakes. Like I literally, like, I mean, I FOMO'd hard, and I'm sure a lot of people did. Like essentially, I'm just like here to essentially be like, hey, I made this mistake, but hey, we're all here to learn and grow, and we're gonna stay. I mean, we're not gonna leave. Shit, is that what they were? So in April or May, they were like $1,100 a T-shirt.
I took notes in my app, and I was spending about 1,100 to 1,200 from July 8th to July 26th for a T-shirt. So I don't remember the exact date, but yeah.
Yeah, I when I first got in Hex, I was all liquid. Um, but I remember seeing Dollar Cost Crypto. He was saying like do a 60-40, like 60% stake, 40% liquid. So, but after I sold my car in April, I bought a bunch of liquid Hex, and then I mean, once it fell like drastically, like I think it went from like what 15 cents to like 3 cents or like I can't remember 5 cents. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna stake it. F it. Like, and then I actually set up my first stake August 1st. So I was literally liquid from like I'd say like beginning of January to like August 1st, and like I'm like F it. Let me just try to do this delay gratification and work it out. And yeah, I did my first take August 1st, but I only did it for like a year, and then I started that, and then I set up more stakes for obviously for 2024, 2025, and things like that.
The first time I bought Hex, I got about $19 worth when it was 6 cents, and I spent $140 on gas, I believe. So I've made some fucking mistakes out here, man, for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that yeah, gas was insane. Definitely around that time.
I didn't fully understand gas at the time. Had I understood it, I would not have done that, I'm guessing, or waited till the weekend at 1 in the morning. But it's just really cool how fast you can learn in this space.
Yeah, man, I can't even remember. I mean, like I said, I've been here since 2017, but I'm trying to remember when gas was ever like a thing. Maybe with the DeFi, like with Uniswap, I think that's when it came to light. Once everyone started using the swap, that's when all this gas talk started. I was like, because I didn't know what gas was until I was on Uniswap, but Uniswap didn't come to light, I think, until like 2018, 2019. I can't remember. But yeah, I mean, Postchain will resolve that.
Hey, that was you earlier speaking about having some troubles getting your friends and family or people you care about onboarding into Hex, right? Because I'm in the same space, man. I've got friends that buy tennis shoes and sneakers and clothes and this and that, and they're just like, I can't afford it. And I'm just like, dude, you can. You're buying bullshit right now.
Yeah, that was definitely me. I mean, like I'm in a group chat full of like 10 dudes, and like I mean, like crypto is like the last thing on their mind. Like they're just obviously trying to get the new Jordans or the new, I mean, new anything. And it's like, I mean, I guess it depends where you live too. Like I live in Tampa, Florida, and it's a very diverse, like fun place to live. So like it's all about, like everyone here is materialistic, unfortunately. So all they care about is buying those type of things, as opposed to me. Like I live like I'm broke. Like I'm like every single paycheck I'm putting money into cryptocurrency.
I told somebody I was going to sell my car, or I was thinking about selling my car, and they thought I was joking. But
Who's
and they thought
Sequoia?
Oh, sorry. What was the last thing you said? You were gonna sell your car and then what?
everyone I told that idea to thought I was fucking crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely kept it on the DL. Like, I mean, I have a girlfriend, so like, she's the only one that knew about it. I was like, babe, like, I had to like sit down and have a discussion with her. I'm like, hey, babe, are you fine with me selling my car and us having like ride together to work so I can invest this money? And she was cool with it, obviously, because we live together. That's why. So I only discussed it with her, and then like I told my friends like 2, 3 months later. But I mean, they didn't ask why. I just like, hey, I sold my car.
Yeah, no doubt. It was more of a, I wasn't very liquid at the moment, and it just felt like a dire need to have a better uh, position than I had. But yeah, man.
Yeah, man, I definitely feel that. Like I said, I had the FOMO kicked hard. I'm like, yo, I need to sell my car now because Post Chain is launching in May. Like, I need to make. I was like, all right, when Post Chain launches, like Hex will easily 2, 3x, 4x. I'll just, I'll just take my initial principal out and I'll just buy another car. But nope, life happened. But I mean, it's funny though. I mean, it only happened like what, like six months ago, and I'm like laughing at it now. And like it's kind of too soon still because we're not even in a bull market, but I'm still laughing at it.
Absolutely. Now I'm kind of going the route of building a business so I can just have money free that I can invest all the time. So I haven't been able to invest as much in Hex as I want to, just because I'm kind of pouring money into the things I need to for my business to take off the ground. But I'm kind of taking a sacrifice now, but I think it'll be worth it once I'm kind of got my feet wet and I'm getting consistent income that I can put into my different projects.
Yeah, and it's not even a long time. Like it's only like if we're at or near the bottom, because usually it takes about 12 months for Bitcoin to find a bottom, and now we're just in this. We're supposedly supposed to be in this accumulation zone where we just dollar cost average as much as we can for at least, like I'm thinking, until at least August of 2023. I mean, depending if the Fed pivots and things like that, we might have a relief rally. But yeah, like if you could just stick it out like 2 years, which is not a long time. Like it could be long in crypto, but 2 years to me is just not a long time. And then you could just capitalize on that seed that you planted. And then, yeah, I mean, it'll be life changing. Like currently I'm working a 9 to 5 for a lender down here in Tampa, but I mean, I only plan to be there for another 2 years and I'm out. And then hopefully I can start my own business. All right, fellas. It was nice chatting with you. I'm probably gonna head off, but I mean, if it's open tomorrow, I'll definitely jump on tomorrow.
Later, man.
All right, big up.